Hey, wait, stop scrolling. I got a secret for you. We're going to talk today about home seller negotiation secrets. Stick around. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another Hump Day Real Estate with Kendall and the DMV. And today we're going to talk about home seller negotiation secrets. Buyers and sellers alike have the chance to negotiate the sale of the home. Get all the insights on how to pull this off and the way that both have a win-win. So negotiations are typically part of the home buying or home selling process. Going to learn about how to come to the table with winning arguments to score the best deal. Today, we're going to talk about tips to be 100% organized and qualified. We're also going to talk about negotiation. And then we're going to talk about negotiation tips. Tips to be 100% organized and approved. You want to be ready when it's time to sell your home. First, if you're going to have a leg to stand on in negotiations, you need to have your ducks in a row. If you are a home seller, you should. Now, these are the things. Set the right home price. Have your home ready to show. Know your responsibilities. Have terms in mind. So some of the key ideas that we really need to discuss is set your list price based on current comps provided by your realtor. Use open houses to foster competition, virtual or in person, depending on your current conditions. So normally the home shows pretty well. Do an open house and get folks in there and kind of compete with the neighbors who are actually in the surrounding areas that are selling their home as well. Talk to your realtor about different options for counter offers and concessions. The question to ask and participating lenders. Investigate work is the second step in negotiation that lands you on top. Here are the right questions to ask if you are the home seller. Seller, who are you negotiating with? What is their financial position? So, do they have cash? Are they using FHA or are they using conventional financing? Are they asking for seller financing or owner financing? What strategic concessions are you willing to make? Are you willing to give the buyer a credit of 3% to help them with closing costs? Are you willing to do some other things? Are you willing to hold a note? What comps other homes for sale are you up against in your area? Are there comparable? What's the home down the street? Is that a 3 or 4 bedroom? Does it have 2 full bath? Has it been renovated? Is it in an as-is condition? Those are the things. What do you have to negotiate with? You have to really look at what you have going on. Is one of your negotiation tactics, do you know that the home down the street, lot is not big as your lot? You have a garage on yours, you have a parking pad, a pool, etc. What are your non-negotiables? What are the things you're just not willing to negotiate on? Possible goals. Number 1, create a bidding war. Number 2, drive urgency. Number 3, make more money. So what's up for your negotiation? As you enter enter this stage of a home sale or purchase, it is important to know that it's not just the price of the home that's up for negotiation. In fact, home negotiations can include a huge range of items that have personal or case specific value. So, price, contingencies, terms, occupancy, furniture, repairs, equipment or tools, closing costs, fees. I just did I'm working on a transaction right now. The sellers are buying the furniture for cash. So there's a lot of different things. Or you could uh, sub them out for something else of value. Sometimes negotiation will occur after an inspection. If essential repairs are identified, these can be included in a negotiation about home price or closing costs. Negotiation tips. Negotiation will happen through your realtor, who plays a vital role. Home sellers and buyers have a lot of opportunities to drive the conversation that occurs between real estate professionals. Here are some negotiation tips. The basics. Know how to receive an offer and what your options are. Set a bottom line price you'll accept. You have to have prices in mind that you want to kind of. So that's where we talked about before. We're looking at the comparable, and you kind of know exactly. You compare the house to the property down the street, around the corner. Set intentions and goals for your negotiation. Understand contingency clauses and offers. Must know that one of the contingency clauses may be inspection contingency, and there's a different structural, mechanical, uh, wood destroying insects, etc. Radon. One of the contingencies could be financing contingency. So there's different things. There could be the buyers need to sell their house. That could be a contingency. The goal for everyone is the win-win deal. Most important tip: collaborate with qualified agents who will guide you through this process. And we're here to help you through all of your real estate needs. And when you're ready to connect, I'm here to navigate you through the negotiation that has optimal results for your home sale. So whenever you have any questions and when you're thinking about selling your home, just reach out to me, or come to the come through my channel. I'm gonna have a lot of information on here. We're gonna get some more folks on here. I'm planning to get a home inspector on here to talk about some of the things that really some things that home sellers really need to pay attention to when they're thinking about selling their home, and have some of those things serviced and maintained, and make sure they've been maintained properly and all of that stuff. That way you won't get the big hitters, once there's an inspection. Oh no, I know my furnace works well, but you haven't had it checked or maintained in 5 years. So those are the things you have to put in place. And so I wasn't going to hold you guys on tonight, but I'm adding a bonus here. Home appraisals. Now, this is for the sellers and the buyers. Both parties need to understand what the home appraisal is about, why you need a home appraisal. And sellers probably don't care for a home appraisal. Now, they like to get them so they can say, hey, this is what my home is worth, and that's what it should sell for. But I don't think you can care for them too much when that appraisal comes back and it's less than what you expected, I bet. So are you selling or buying a home? Learn what the appraisal is and why it's important for buyers and sellers. So home appraisal is usually required part of the home buying process. Whether it's your first real estate transaction or you just needed a refresher, Here is your insider's guide to home appraisal process. Buying a home can be stressful. It's been very stressful for buyers for the last 3 years. That's for sure. A home appraisal may feel like a nerve-wracking process, but it's actually there to ensure an easier transaction. The goal of a home appraisal is to ascertain the market value of a home. So that appraiser is going to go out there, he's going to find comparables, he's going to really narrow down, try to get as close to what the home seller has, to make sure that that price that you're paying for the buyers is the actual price, and for the seller, you know, again, might not like it as much as the buyer in some instances. So these are what we're going to learn. What is an appraisal? What are the stages in the process? And 5 tips what to be prepared for. Now, did you know a home appraisal is different and separate from a home inspection? So did you know that? So the home inspections come first, though. That's a contingency. Getting a home inspected analyzes things like construction and systems. Appraisals are done to determine home value. So what is your home appraisal? A home appraisal is a process where an objective expert thoroughly assesses a home that is up for sale. The 2 goals are to check the quality of the home and the assets it values. Home appraisals impact buyer. Home appraisal ensure you're paying what a home is really worth. Seller, and a home appraisal may change what you can sell your home for or spark a negotiation of terms. Home appraisals are done by objective and an impartial professional. Most commonly, a lender will oversee this process and use a third-party appraisal management company. Did you know the standards of home appraisals are actually set by Congress through the Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice? Now, pre 2008, well, 2009, a lot of appraisals actually, I believe, lost their license because of that 2008 market crash, where a lot of homes were considered to be where the agents and homeowners, et cetera, were actually helping or getting help from the appraisers to kind of appraise the properties at what they needed them to be. And they considered that as part of the problem that caused the 2008 housing crash, that I felt buyers were paying, not only with the lenders just giving out all these loans, but it felt like their appraised values weren't correct. So stages in the home appraisal process. Home appraisals are important. It takes a few steps to get through one. Lender order appraisal. License appraisal is hired. Borrower pays for the appraisal, typically included in closing. Now, it depends on the lender. Most times, when the lender takes the application, it also get the credit card information so that when they order the appraisal, it can be paid for. Home value is determined. Home value report is issued. And that's the big report that everybody is actually waiting for once we get to that part of the process. How to prepare for a home appraisal? Well, here are a few ways sellers and buyers should prepare for a home appraisal. Seller, clean the home. Conduct basic repairs and paintings. Be off premises when the appraisal is being conducted. A lot of sellers like to stick around. Have all relevant docs on hand, including permits if you renovated. So if you renovated the property, you did a lot of these flippers, they don't, some flippers actually use leave the permits up, but could be a good idea so that, make the process a little bit streamlined a little bit. The the inspector comes in and see that there's already pretty much been inspected by the city or county or what have you. And then they can also, when they test it, they can note that. Buyer's prep. Discuss with your realtor and other stakeholders what will you do if the home appraises under list price? What will you do if the home appraises over asking price? So now this is where it gets a little tricky, because if the home appraises under asking price, well, you kind of you don't know what the seller will do. So the seller may say, I get it's up to you to come with the difference. You're the one. And see, people don't know that. They think that, oh, if it just if the appraisal comes short, the seller will just say, oh, I'll just sell it for that. Not always. It depends on what that seller has going on. And if that seller is not pushed to sell that property, the seller may come back and the deal may crash, because the seller may say, hey, $20,000 short. That's your situation, because you need a loan. If you have an additional $20,000 in the bank, I'll take that. Think about it. Did you know you can order a pre-listing appraisal? This may lock in your sales price and expedite things down the road. Now, I've seen where folks order, get appraisals, but that appraisal does no good, especially in a market where it could be slow. You just so happen the appraisal goes out 4/10 of a mile or so and get these comparable. But what we always have to remember with real estate, there has to be a willing and able buyer. Your house you can get appraised at $1 million. If there's not a willing and able buyer that comes to that house when you're trying to sell it, you're not selling it for $1 million. It just doesn't happen that way. Did you know a buyer is not committed to paying the appraised value of a home for sale? It will change the logistics of your financing. So that's what we talked about on the buyer side. If it's short, the appraisal is short 20,000. We got some things to figure out. So tips for your home appraisal. As a buyer or seller, going into a home appraisal with the right expectation is valuable. Number one, understand what features can change the home values. So for instance, a home appraiser will take square footage, utilities, renovations, and even the age of the home into account before making their declaration. Know the value of similar homes. This should come into play whether you are listing or looking. Costs factor into a home appraisal. So you gotta know what's your home with the square footage, and then look at the actual comparable home. You can't look at the home that was built from the ground up across the street that went up. Even if they tore that old home down, that old home might have been comparable for your home, but that newly built home from the ground up is not a true comparable. Maybe an appraiser might say different, but I haven't seen where most appraisers say, nah, that's new construction, we can't use that. It will take at least a week. The availability of people, permits, and more could impact the turnaround time for a home appraisal. Know your options. Home appraisals may come in higher or lower than list price. You should discuss your options with your realtors to know what your negotiation and price different options are. Order independent appraisals. Not happy with the results? Question the outcome of an appraisal. Buyer or seller can ask for reevaluation of appraisal or order an independent appraisal. So there are times where I've heard rehab investors have the property, get a nice renovation, put it on the market, and maybe they get a buyer for the price, and then it doesn't appraise, but the investor and agent did a good job with when they purchased the home. They knew exactly what the true comps were, and depending on where the home is, you know how far out that city or county will allow for you to use as a comparable. And so if you have the proper data, you're working with the proper realtor that understands how to generate the comps, how far the comps could actually go. If the appraiser comes back with comps that you don't have, you may be able to take those comps into effect and then compare them with the agent or hire independent appraiser to fight what hopefully come back and kind of have with the data that you have, and they can fight that other appraisal, and then maybe and the lender might accept that. So prepare to buy or sell. We did it. We are at the point, we got the appraisal done, everything worked out, and hopefully we didn't have to do any of those crazy negotiations. So now we're looking at we're selling or we're buying a home. So these I really, really, really wanted to talk to sellers today, and we have a shortage of inventory, and we're always saying, "Hey, buyers, where are the buyers?" and trying to get the buyers off the fence. We need to get sellers off the fence. Why are you holding the property that you're sitting on? Do you know that you could get a good amount of money from selling your property, especially if the condition is right? So I want you to understand some of us are landlords, and we're having problems with some of the properties, etc. We're trying to hold on because we want to keep the properties, and I believe in you should try to keep those properties. But some of us are hurting. Some of us are bleeding, and we need to stop the bleeding. One of the things that happen as a landlord that causes a lot of bleed from landlords, and if you're a landlord and you're listening to this, you're going to attest to this, because at some point you ran into this. You lost a tenant, and you were just pushed to get a new tenant, and what you didn't do was properly screen the tenant to make sure that that new tenant was not worse than the tenant you just got rid of. And what happens is you didn't do the job, and you end up with a nightmare. And some of you still dealing with that nightmare now. But what I want you to do, if that's you, I want you to sit down and really run your numbers. I want you to have a strategy to get yourself out of that situation. And it's not always sell, but I'm here for you if you need to sell, but it's not always to sell. It may be to find some funds and make that investment more productive. Let's talk about that real quick. So let's say you have a townhouse, and let's say the townhouse's basement is just regular, right? And let's say with this townhouse, you also have in the backyard, you have a parking pad. Let's say you don't have a parking pad. What if? So right now, the whole house is getting $1,800 for the whole house, right? It's 3 bedrooms or four bedroom, 2 baths, what have you. What if you have enough equity where you can go get your HELOC, or you can go get your construction loan, and you can turn the basement into a 1-bedroom with off-street parking for that 1-bedroom in the basement. Now you were getting 18 for upstairs, right? That's all you were getting, 1,800. Now you created this situation in the basement with 1-bedroom, right? Let's say it cost you $40,000 to renovate the basement, put a kitchen in, bathroom. Or the bathroom's already there, you want to update it, do some things, put a room in, or make it an efficiency. Let's just say that around about just for use basic numbers, let's just say you can get $1,000 for a basement now, right? So you were getting 1,800 for upstairs. Well, guess what you just did? You could now rent the upstairs without the basement. And let's say you take $200 off. So now you get 1,600 for the upstairs, but you got an additional, you lost 200 from upstairs to gain $1,000 from downstairs. Your mortgage payment is $1,000 a month. So you were getting $800 a month just renting the whole house out. Now you're getting $1,600 a month by adding the 1-bedroom apartment or efficiency in the basement. Something to think about. Doesn't mean you have to go out and buy another house all the time. What can you do with the property that you already have? Something to think about, folks. Hey, I'm gonna leave you with that. Another Hump Day Real Estate with Kendall and the DMV. Call me if you need any help with your real estate needs. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you like the information that I share. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you.